In late 1813, John Winship, a young Harvard graduate who had moved to Louisiana to pursue a legal career, wrote the first of a series of letters to a friend back east. The letters offer a glimpse into some of the cultural differences between Winship's home state and his adopted one, as well as the fraught political climate in Louisiana, which had been admitted as a state on April 30th, 1812, a mere 6 weeks before Congress declared war on Great Britain. November 1st, 1813. Our political parties differ entirely from those of New England. Federalist and Democrat mean almost the same thing. The American Party differ as to the policy of the war. The French Party as to the right of our government to the country. The Spanish Party curse everything. The Creoles discontented, the Negroes insolent, the Indians sulky. What political chemist will ever unite us? Among the French, it is a favored opinion and perhaps an ardent wish that we should be reunited to the French Empire. Among a large portion of inhabitants, English, Scotch, Irish, Dutch, American, etc., it is a matter of indifference to what power we fall, provided cotton will sell at $20 per hundredweight. And true it is, in the opinion of many people, that should the English land a force of 2,000 men on the western coast, there would be no force to resist them. Louisiana is a delightful country, and although the climate too often proves fatal to a foreigner, yet generally we ascribe to the climate what is the effect of our imprudence. I've been severely attacked this summer and had nearly died, but at length I am acclimated. I assure you that no consideration, excepting my attachment to my friends, could induce me to return. February 18, 1814. When I hear of anything relating to my native country, I forget the delightful climate of Louisiana, and amid luxury and the profusion of nature, I regret the more delightful charms of art, education, and manners. Without books or companions who have the same taste with myself, I pass my time in the discharge of the duties of my profession, and it is but seldom that I can indulge myself in any other studies than the law. March 20th, 1814. The war of the U.S. is very unpopular with us. It was with difficulty that the requisition of General Flournoy was complied with, even among the Americans. At New Orleans, the French and the Spaniards absolutely refused to be marched. They declared themselves liege subjects of Spain or France. The governor is a mere nullity. The government is an aristocratic democracy. It is said great tumult exists in the city, and the prospect is very gloomy to the friends of peace and order. If the English should attack us, there is no force competent to repel them. April 2nd, 1814. The most enlightened men of this country consider the admission of Louisiana into the Union as an independent state as an impolitic and unfortunate measure. It has proved prejudicial to us and may one day be regretted by the other states. There probably never was a people happier or more prosperous than the Louisianans before the late adoption. The expenses of government were defrayed from the Treasury of the United States, and although we had not the appointment of our chief rulers and judges, we had a control over them sufficient to prevent any great political evil. Our taxes were low in proportion to the resources of the country, our people were quiet, and demagogues bawled in vain for influence in office. What has succeeded? Instead of favorites of the general government, we have the noisy and ignorant satellites of a democracy to rule us. Party spirit rages among us. Taxation has become oppressive. The Creole population have become jealous of the Americans. We have neither better governors nor judges than before, and the United States are nowise relieved by the change. The governor of this state is a mere cipher. The legislature, who are virtually an aristocracy, have taken from the executive all its power and prerogatives. They have left it $7,000 per annum, a sum of money which cannot protect it from disgrace and insult. The division of party is founded on the difference of nation and language. We are neither Federalists nor Democrats, although democracy is the favorite theory of the majority. But we are either French or Americans. There can be no doubt but the French are declining in power, and the Americans are not sufficiently prudent to hide it from them. So weak is the executive that the execution of the revenue laws is almost impossible. Smuggling is carried on to a great degree. Fortunes have been made in a few months, and European goods are frequently cheaper than before the embargo. June 15, 1814. The late news from Europe of the defeat of Bonaparte sensibly affects the country. If it be true that Louis XVIII is on the throne, we expect that Louisiana will not long remain one of the United States of America. Unfortunately, a revolution is too much wished for by the people of this state. The truth is, we are not Americans, and the policy of our admission to the Union will soon be tested. In a few days, our biennial election returns, and the struggle will be to make the representation wholly French. In all these disputes, I am prudently silent. I am too much actuated by personal interest to be a partisan. Our crops of sugar and cotton are very promising this year. Not even our oppressive taxes can make us complain if we have a free exportation for produce. What a delightful country is this in time of peace. We hate the war, and not unreasonably. The world goes well enough with me. Business comes apace, but the climate has relaxed every fiber of industry. Indolence is common with us all, and it will be a phenomenon indeed if this state ever produces a man of genius or learning. The mind with the body is weakened. We suffer a relaxation which, to you Northerners, would be a subject of astonishment. The cool of the morning admits of some exertion. At noon, we yield to a burning sun, and the evening is spent in repairing the exhausted system or in the indulgence of ease and tranquility. The nerve of the soul is wasted, and the strong passions of glory and ambition are faintly visible only in moments of intemperance. July 7th, 1814. I told you I was prudently cautious on politics, and you concluded I was reserved toward yourself. My caution arose from the fear I justly entertain of the post officers in this and other places. My friends in Boston have advised me not to write on politics because several of my letters had come to their hands violated. P.S. Just heard of the dethronement of Napoleon. Astonishment, dismay, and exultation are passions this great event excites among us. Now comes the tug of war. So I found this letter really interesting. Obviously, the culture shock to a New Englander was very real. The work ethic in Louisiana was totally different from what someone from a Puritan-dominated culture would have been used to. But Winship also found himself conforming to it because the heat and humidity just sapped his energy, especially before the days of air conditioning. It's also huge that what was still a brand new state was dangerously fragmented. The diversity wasn't just what we're used to in terms of race, ethnicity, religion, but these were a diversity of loyalties. I mean, people had until very recently been hailing their allegiances to different countries, and a lot of them were kind of hoping that it would revert back. I mean, there wasn't this clinging to the idea of the Union in the United States as something that most people there strongly identified with. And so it was looking really touch and go as to whether Louisiana would remain in the Union. And I think it's interesting that he's writing this back home to New England, where there's also talk of secession at this time. The War of 1812 wasn't much more popular in Louisiana than it was in New England. Certainly not at least until Andrew Jackson routed the British in the Battle of New Orleans. But Winship would not live to see that because he actually died about 6 weeks after writing the last letter that I quoted from, probably of one of the endemic diseases that he had hoped he had developed immunity to. He was just 25 years old. So really fascinating group of letters. I'd love to know what you think of them. And I certainly hope you'll subscribe if you haven't already, hit the like button, share with anyone you think might be interested. And as always, I've got more of the story at my website, and you can click the link in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.